You know what? In some places like Florida, they don't have the societal fabric to help troubled teens overcome their problems. And when that happens, they hire wrinkles to scare the shit out of them to go back on the straight and narrow.
God damn, that was deep.
Welcome back, everybody, to The Abyss.
The abyss is dark and deep and full of wonders.
Dark and deep, huh?
Just like your mom.
When I think of Enter the Abyss, I think of just like this misty labyrinth of like stairs. I don't know why I always go with stairs. Stairs are creepy to me. Just go on forever. Ad infinitum, onward towards infinity.
So it's just like a constant stairwell for you.
Yeah,
Just
dude.
going
There's
down.
that creepy posse that's super creepy about an infinite stairwell. It's weird.
You read that one, didn't you?
Yeah. Anyway, so guys, I wanted to bring up, so we are actually getting quite a few subscribers on YouTube, and it seems to be escalating in a good way. Right now we're sitting at 73, and me and Britton have been thinking about what are we going to do for our 100 sub special. And I think we have a little bit of a treat. The idea is we actually want to branch out and film a podcast on location of a haunted area.
Aha.
Now, specifically in Utah, there's a place called Asylum 49, which is allegedly haunted. I believe it used to be like a mental asylum. Is that true?
Yeah, it's a closed mental asylum.
And they converted it into a haunted house, which is kind of...
yeah, that part is whatever.
It's pretty cool, though, because they let the people work there actually like push you and be a jerk. You know, one guy
Yeah.
spit at me and called me trash.
Did you actually go? I haven't been to it.
Yeah, I went there 3 years ago with one of my friends.
Nice.
And I thought it was pretty good. Anyway, so yeah, you can pay to do like these night tours. And we were thinking about, A, we're going to film on location. And B, we're going to be bringing some things like a spirit box. Now, they as of like, I think it was last year, they banned Ouija boards. But I was just telling Britton before we
Lame.
were filming. Yeah, which is stupid. Like, come on. It's just a Ouija board.
It's just a Ouija board. They don't work.
You know, I was telling Britton, like, I'll tip him $100 and bring, like, a little poster Luigi board with the Mario Kart characters and see if they'll let us, let it go through with a little planchette. Now, if you guys think that would be interesting, let us know what questions you would like us to ask the Spirit Box, as well as what questions we should ask on the Ouija board. And I'll tell you one thing, there's a lot of people who are like, oh, Ouija board, that's pretty spooky. Dude, I have no qualms. I will ask and harass. I don't care.
Yeah, I've used the Ouija board once. I've talked about it on the show when we covered the history of the Ouija board, and I got nothing from it. There was no activity. It was kind of a letdown. But we really want to go do this thing. We've talked about it a couple years. Unfortunately, just with everything that's happened, we haven't had a chance to go. But I'm feeling like this year is the year. And like Cleet said, we're really getting close on 100 subs on YouTube, which is fantastic.
Such a cool milestone.
So first of all, thank you to all of our YouTube subscribers. If that's where you're following us, thank you to everybody, honestly, who's listened to us over a little over a year now. Coming up on our second year in February, which is awesome. So thank you everybody for your constant support of the show.
So important thing here, what are we drinking tonight, Britton?
I was putting this one off for as long as possible because we take turns getting beers for the week, and this week was Cleet's turn. And he was on a mission.
To bother him.
To bother me. And
Yeah.
It worked because out of all the beers in the world that you can think of, all the good beers, even all the bad beers we've had on the show, all just the varieties of brewery, this motherfucker buys a Bud Light Platinum.
I paid a premium, but it was worth it.
A premium?
Oh, yeah, dude. It was
$3.
It was $3.85 a beer.
Well, doesn't taste like $3.85. It's not bad. I mean, okay, it's the Platinum Bud Light, but so that's what we're drinking. A Bud Light Platinum.
Easy breezy cover girl.
Cheers.
So I had the most fucked up dream last night. It was so bad.
Was it you buying a Bud Light?
No. So I was at a party. I was hanging out with like some family, but it was like an extended family. I didn't really know like anyone in the room really. And I went to walk outside, and I was like, you know what? I'm going to believe. And all of a sudden, a SWAT team comes up. I'm like, oh. It's like,
What
hey,
did you do?
Stay here. Like, you might be incriminated. and they just burst through the door, and I just hear all these gunshots, and I'm like, oh,
Holy shit.
oh man, this ain't Thanksgiving. And I'm sitting there. I remember like I'm just kind of hiding in some type of like corner room. It doesn't really make sense because I was outside. And the whole SWAT team runs in. They're like, like they had guns too. And, like they shot at us. And this one SWAT gal comes out. And she was shot in the head, but like she was so fucked up she didn't know. And there's just blood spurting from her head.
Oh my God.
She's like, guys, what's going on? What's going on? Like her memory wasn't working.
And you're just sitting there watching all this happen?
I was in horror. Like it was not a good dream. Like sometimes you have a dream where you're like, I couldn't even write it. Like it's so fucked up that I'm like, what? Why did my brain make that up? Like it was. I remember I woke up and I was like, oh, oof, dirty.
You're just like, I need a shower after that one. I'm curious as to what that one means. We've already done our dream interpretation dream, but
all right. Well, we so let's actually jump into the feast of what we're talking about today.
Feast.
So what are we covering, Britton?
We're going into the circus. And by circus, I think everybody knows clowns are involved. So we're going to be talking about a bunch of clown stuff today.
There's nothing scary about clowns.
I don't think so. I'm not bothered by clowns. But I have a good buddy of mine I actually want to dedicate this episode to. His name's Tyler. He loves clowns. He's infatuated with clowns.
Honk, honk.
Honk, honk. No, he's terrified of clowns. And I don't think he'll ever listen to this one. But Tyler, if you are, this one's for you, buddy. But so I'll start. So I actually, before we jump into, I'm assuming you have like individual clown stories?
Yep.
Okay. So I'm actually going to jump into kind of an origin of where clowns came from and how they evolved from like what they were supposed to be to what they are now.
Spoiler alert, hell.
Hell is involved. Honest question, Clee. When you hear the word clown, when you think of a clown, what's your first thought? Like, how do you interpret a clown?
I just think of the circus, man. I have no clown fear.
Okay.
Never have.
So it's like the jolly, happy circus clown.
Yeah.
Okay. So that's kind of where I'm at, too. I mean, but I've also, like, I'm a huge fan of Stephen King. He wrote the book It, obviously, and I'm a huge fan of Halloween and horror stuff, so my mind does kind of go to the evil clown, like the really creepy ones. So, but yeah, I have no problem with clowns, but that, a lot of people do.
Don't get me wrong. Like, if I saw a clown on the side of the street, a little spooky clothing, like with a big old, like, axe, I wouldn't approach the guy,
An axe?
Yeah, man. Or like a mallet. I don't know what clowns have. A weird jack-in-the-box and a gun.
Yeah, probably that one. Just a jack in the...
Sorry.
It's probably a jack-in-the-box with a gun. Just...
You're dead.
We are awful people. No, anyway, so... And the reason I ask you is because I think that when I was reading a lot of this, when you ask anybody what they think of clowns, it differs. Because I think more people are going to think of the sinister side rather than what clowns are supposed to be. But I want to know, too, is you listening to the episode, tell us what you think. Like, when you think of the word clown, does it strike fear into your heart and your soul? Or does it make you laugh, right? Do you like clowns? Do you have a very real phobia of them? But we're going to be jumping into why the hell clowns even became a thing and what they were there for. So the first description of clowns actually dates back to the 5th dynasty of Egypt.
Okay.
Did you believe it went that far back?
Is it like a jester or something? I know there were jesters.
Right. We'll talk about what's different between a clown and a jester. But anyway, this was around 2400 BC. And unlike court jesters, which were members of the households of noblemen or monarchs that were employed to entertain guests, so that would be a jester, clowns traditionally served socio-religious and psychological roles.
Okay.
Typically, what you would see was the clown and the priest being held by the same individual. Yeah.
I don't trust priests.
Well, then you don't trust clowns because they're one and the same, my guy. So, a man by the name of Peter Berger wrote, it seems plausible that folly and fools, like religion and magic, meet some deeply rooted needs in human society. So in anthropology, the term clown has been extended to comparable jester or fool characters in non-Western cultures. A society where clowns have an important position are called clown societies.
Okay. Some aristocrat clowns.
Yeah. A clown character that is involved in a religious or ritual capacity is referred to as a ritual clown.
Like sacrificing a virgin? Or
a ritual clown.
Okay.
Yeah.
Throwing a virgin in a volcano? I'm kidding.
According to Native American mythology, the trickster channels the spirits of coyotes and becomes a sacred clown character. A heyoka is an individual in native cultures who lives outside the constraints of normal cultural roles and plays the clown character backwards by doing everything in reverse.
Oh, that used to be like sacrilegious back in the day. That's where you get black mass. That's where they do mass in reverse. It's considered like a satanic ritual.
Yeah. And clowns have a little bit of a satanic background to some, I guess, so we'll talk about that too. The Canadian clowning method, which was developed by Richard Pachinko and Sue Morrison, combines European and Native American clowning practices. During this tradition, they make masks out of clay while the creator's eyes are closed. So they make their masks while they can't see. You're going to get some really crazy shit if you're having to make something with your fucking eyes closed, I can tell you that much. A mask is made for each direction of the medicine wheel. Now, a medicine wheel is a metaphor for a variety of spiritual concepts. Sometimes they can be like stone monoliths or whatever. During this mask creating process, the clown would create a personal mythology or lore exploring their personal experience. So I'm going to need you to make a mask while you're blindfolded and create a story behind it.
Did they learn this in clown college?
Honk, honk. I would say that most people, when hearing of clowns, think of the more modern clown, which is associated with the tradition of the circus clown, kind of like you said. So more people would associate clowns of that. This was developed via comedic roles in theater during the 19th and 20th centuries. These clowns have outlandish, vibrant costumes, very distinct makeup, colorful, crazy wigs, and large, exaggerated footwear, kind of like you're wearing. Well, those are just your feet. This style was designed with the idea of entertaining large audiences during performances. So the clown was created to bring joy and happiness. How far have we fallen?
Don't forget about the mini car where there's like 10 clowns in there.
I think there was like 12. The very first mainstream clown role was performed by Joseph Grimaldi, and he was the creator of the white painted face design that we all know. During the early 1800s, he expanded the clown role in the harlequinade that formed a part of British pantomimes at the Theatre Royal, Drury Lane, and Sadler's Wells and Covent Garden theatres. This blew up so fast on the London comic stage that harlequinade clowns came to be called Joey. Have you ever heard of a clown called Joey?
No.
No. Well, it's a very common term because of the guy who created this, Joseph Grimaldi.
Oh.
Both the nickname and painted white face makeup designs are still used by other clowns today. Okay, so speaking of the circus clown, this clown was developed in the 19th century. The modern circus derives from Philip Astley's London Riding School, which opened in 1768.
First clown college.
Yep. Astley added a clown in his show for amusement between sequences, so it wasn't actually a part of the actual show. It's like they would be in between acts and they'd come out and do their crazy clown car shit and their big shoes and
some water spraying flowers.
Fuck with a lion, some crazy stuff, get eaten in half, whatever.
I'm dead.
American comedian George L. Fox became infamous for his clown role, which was directly inspired by Grimaldi in the 1860s. Tom Belling Sr. developed the Red Clown, or Augusta, character in 1870, which acted as a foil for the common white painted clown. Now, this Red Clown is going to be kind of the spin-off.
Ooh.
Belling worked for Circus Rennes in Vienna, and his costume became the template for the modern stock character of circus and children's clowns. This template featured the red nose, white makeup around the eyes and mouth, and oversized shoes and clothing.
So he's the one that inspired Gacy to kill all those little boys?
I mean, I don't know if him particularly, but this style of clown, the red one that was like not as fun and loving, I guess.
That guy was a bad man.
Yeah, and we're going to be I'll be covering Gacy at some point, but we talk about him a little bit here. In the United States, we had Bozo the Clown, who came around in the 1950s. You know Bozo?
No, I've heard of Bozo the Clown, although I don't know anything about him.
Okay. The Bozo Show premiered in 1960 and appeared on cable nationally in 1978, so it became really popular. Like, Bozo was everywhere. If you don't know Bozo, that's fine, but you will absolutely know the character inspired by him. The one and only Ronald McDonald, mascot of McDonald's, was created in the 1960s and was played by Willard Scott, who was the Bozo actor from 1959 to 62, during the 1963 television spots.
Do you feel like they stopped advertising Ronald McDonald as we got older?
I haven't seen him in a while.
Or is it like, do we not watch like the kid shows? Because I always wonder that all the time.
I watch a shit ton of kid shows because my kids really young, and I don't see Ronald McDonald at all.
I wonder why they stepped away from that, because I remember they used to say like Ronald McDonald was known by more people than like Jesus.
Yeah. Well, I mean, kids would anywhere you
knew
go.
Him when I was a kid.
I mean, they had the cartoon. Remember the Hamburglar and like, all that shit? Yeah. Like, everybody knows Ronald McDonald, but he was inspired by Bozo the Clown. The McDonald's trademark character dates back to 1967, so he's been around for a while.
Ooh.
So now we're going to jump into birthday clowns, which is every child's favorite. Did you ever have a birthday clown?
No.
I didn't either.
We didn't have a budget for birthdays.
I just don't think my parents wanted an adult clown at my party.
Just found a hobo and they picked him up. It was like this really cheap way to have fun.
It's like, you've got a red nose. It's
did
bleeding from all the cocaine.
They did that till Timmy disappeared.
Speaking of which, just kidding. Children's party clowns were based off the Bozo template and were private contractors hired out to kids' birthday parties for entertainment and party tricks. This was developed in the 60s and 70s. Due to the immense popularity of the party clowns, the clown care was created in the 80s. You know what the clown care is?
Nope.
The clown care is essentially hospital clowning, in which clown doctors would visit hospitals to raise the moods of patients. Also created in the 80s were the Clowns of America International and World Clown Association, and both contain semi-professional and professional performers.
Huh. Kind of makes me think like maybe we should combine the dentistry with clowns.
Exactly.
To make it more approachable for people to get like tooth fillings.
Yeah, give them a bunch of laughing gas, and I'll be laughing.
People
like
won't
clowns.
be afraid of the dentist if they're clowns.
Some might. Some might never go to a dentist again. Okay, now we're going to jump into the reason we're even talking about clowns. The dark, scary part of clowns, which cause many people to experience coulrophobia or the fear of clowns. The evil clown is a subversion of the traditional comic clown character, where the playful and joyous trope is replaced with a more disturbing nature, using horror elements and dark humor. The popularization of the evil clown began around 1940 with the introduction of DC Comics character the Joker. Everybody knows the Joker.
Oh yeah, best villain ever.
It was made even more sinister with Stephen King's novel It, which was published in 1986. So those two clowns specifically are the biggest reasons, or among the biggest reasons, that evil clowns even came to be. So we got DC and Stephen King to thank for that. The archetype of the evil clown has pretty unclear origins and would appear infrequently in the 19th century. Works such as Edgar Allan Poe's Hop Frog is one such appearance and is believed to draw upon an earlier incident at a masquerade ball. In the 14th century, he quotes, "The kind and frivolous party, costumed in highly flammable materials as simian creatures, were ignited by a flambeau and incinerated. The king narrowly escaping in the actual case. Evil clowns made small appearances in drama such as the 1874 La Femme de Tabarin by Catulle Mendez and Pagliacci by Ruggero Leoncavallo, both featuring murderous clowns as a central character." So you're starting to see a lot of these clowns make their way into media. During the 70s, the National Lampoon magazine included a mock comic called Evil Clown, featuring Frenchie the Clown, who was malevolent. I want to read those comics.
Frenchie the Clown. Bonjour, motherfucker.
That wasn't what I wanted. You fucking motherfucker. In that same decade, an American serial killer and rapist, John Wayne Gacy, which you've already mentioned, otherwise known as the Killer Clown, surfaced, bringing terror and agony. Gacy was arrested in 1978 and was discovered he was performing under the name Pogo the Clown at children's parties and a few other events. It is reported that he never committed the crimes while dressed as the clown.
Oh.
Never.
I mean,
you sound upset by that.
Yeah, that was kind of weird, huh?
That was kind of weird, huh? The evil clown archetype has only gained popularity in the recent years and has become somewhat of a staple for the horror genre. Joseph Derwin stated that the concept of evil clowns has an independent position in popular culture, saying, "The concept of evil clowns and the widespread hostility it induces is a cultural phenomenon which transcends just the phobia alone." A study was conducted by the University of Sheffield which stated, "Clowns are universally disliked by children. Some found them quite frightening and unknowable."
They call the uncanny valley. It's where something that looks almost human but not quite and makes people uncomfortable, even in adults.
Yeah. This may be due to the makeup hiding the clowns' faces and creating them a threat in disguise. A psychology professor at California State University, Northridge, stated that young children are very reactive to a familiar body type with an unfamiliar face. I mean, it's just that idea of not knowing who the hell it is. It just creates that fear. I mean, that's why a lot of children are afraid of masks. I mean, a lot of people can be afraid of masks, but... A researcher by the name of Ben Radford published Bad Clowns in 2016 and is highly regarded as an expert on the phenomenon. Can you imagine being an expert in clowns?
I'm expert? A clownologist.
That sounds intense. He writes that going back through history, clowns are seen as tricksters, fools, and more, but they are always in control and can speak their minds and get away with it.
He seems like an evil villain that, like he doesn't work a great job and he just loved clowns and he had to study them, but secretly he's evil.
He's planning to become the best clown of all.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. In doing research for his book, he discovered that professional clowns don't tend to like the evil clown persona. They describe them as the rotten apple in the barrel, whose ugly sight and smell cast suspicion on the rest of them.
Can we talk about crying clowns? Because that's a thing.
And their makeup just running down everywhere, snot bubbles.
Nobody talks about them.
Nope, sad clowns. Radford states that the bad clowns have the ability to change with the times, and more modern evil clowns have evolved into internet trolls. These trolls may not wear the typical clown costume, but play the part of the clown very well. They engage with other people for their own enjoyment by abusing, teasing, and speaking what they deem as the truth.
Trolls?
Trolls.
Yeah.
Trolls and clowns. Clown trolls.
Yeah, it just seems like the clowns. He's describing trolls online.
Yeah. Radford also stated that even though the evil clowns have taken over TV, comics, movies, etc., the good clowns still outweigh the bad. Research also shows that most people don't fear clowns, but actually love them, and bad clowns are the exception, not the rule.
God, he gets paid for that? I'm kidding.
Yeah, I mean, he's a clown expert, man. You got to listen to what he says. He knows clowns inside and out. Okay, so now that we have a brief understanding of where clowns came from, let's jump into some urban legends and clown-related incidents.
Okay, so what I'm covering is specifically clown sightings in 2016, which is a significant date because there's all those creepy clowns in the news. All right, the first story is called The Clown Sprinter.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Did you name this one?
Oh, yeah, I always name it.
Hell yeah.
So this is just a recollection of someone who saw a clown in 2016. So let me tell you...
Just one random clown.
Yeah, let me tell you their story. If you're on Twitter or Facebook or simply watch the news, then you should know the incidents about the clowns being seen. And unfortunately, I came in contact with one 2 weeks ago. I live in Ohio, and every Tuesday and Thursday, I have morning practice for high school basketball. We usually just do weights or running, but that's not the point. So...
But that's not what I want to talk about.
Yeah, that's not the point.
That's not the fucking point.
So morning practice starts at 5:45, and I live a good 10-minute drive from my school, so I usually leave around 5:30 to 5:35 a.m. I do drive my own car, so I go by myself, and just the walk from my door to the car is the most stressful thing because I'm so terrified of the dark. Every time I have to sprint to my car, I throw my bags in the car and drive 100 miles per hour out of my neighborhood because nighttime plus poorly lit neighborhood equals a horror movie.
I bet their neighbors love them because I just imagine them like sprinting. Like if anyone's got like those doorbell cameras, you just see them sprinting, throw the bags in the car, peel the fuck out of the neighborhood.
Yeah, like sweating profusely.
They already did their exercise by the time they get to the high school. They're like, I'm good, coach.
My God.
I ran 100 miles an hour here.
So to get on with the story, I left my house, but instead of running and being all scared, I decided to face my fears and calmly walk to my car.
Good for you.
Which was a bad idea.
Oh, God.
My house is at the very end of the cul-de-sac, and the sidewalk leads to a small hill and to more neighborhoods. It's confusing, but it's really creepy. So I am walking to my car, and I put my bags in the car, and my hands start to shake because I'm terrified. I felt like someone was watching me, so I look up to a small hill area, and I see a figure standing there. I literally almost crapped my pants and ran to the other side of the car, jumped in, turned the car on, and my headlights almost perfectly illuminated the figure. It was a clown. I handle flight or fight situations terribly because I usually run away, but then stop and freeze in fear, and this was the case.
He just stops, craps their pants in the middle of the wherever they're at. Just that's it.
I peed my pants.
Flight and crap.
I literally shat in my car. I'm just kidding.
I was like, no way.
I literally sat in my car watching this figure just stare back. I didn't scream, call 911 or anything. I just sat there, yards away from my neighbors, and this stupid clown was just looking at me. Thankfully, I snapped out of it and started to drive away. I thought to myself, I'm totally safe. I'm in the car that won't break down on me, and in the middle of that thought, I looked in my rear view mirror, and I saw this dumbass fucking clown sprinting at my car. So I floored it and went vroom.
Man, they put that whole thing in there, huh?
Yeah, they're pretty intense. I have never seen my car go from 0 to 60 that fast in my life. I drive a Chevy Cruze. Cruise, the car is supposed to cruise, is what they say.
Wow.
Thankfully, I am safe. I told my coach what happened, and he literally laughed at me. I told my parents when I got home, and they called the police. Clearly, they cannot do anything about it, but I was so scared, and now I am not allowed to go to morning practice unless my dad drives me.
Oh my God.
God bless. Creepy clown. Go get a life, and let's never meet again.
Huh. Okay.
All right, the next story is called Insane in the Membrane.
Hang on. Before you go into this next one, I'm still dwelling on this. So if
Sure.
a clown is running at my car, I'm not going in reverse.
I would go in reverse. I'd a hella reverse.
I'm going straight at him.
I'd feel like, no, like...
A clown versus
Sorry,
a car?
I thought you were parked in a parking stall. I would just hit him.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
But
I'm going
sorry.
to drive. Because it's like, oh, whoops, I thought we were playing chicken.
Especially when you're that young and you don't have any assets. So if they sue you, like, what are you going to do?
Sure, you can have my textbooks.
Yeah. Yeah. That'd be funny. He comes
I'm
to
going to murder that fucking
in a clown outfit and, like, crutches.
I'm going to get you.
This was not funny.
This is Hobby the Clown.
All right. To the next story. Insane in the Membrane.
Yeah.
I don't know if many of you remember this, but back in 2016, there was this creepy clown trend where people dressed up as creepy killer clowns and would hang out in places after dark or stalk people. My story takes place on a college campus during fall of that year. I lived with my grandparents before leaving for school, and I am extremely close to them. Also, I am very shy and have zero friends or people I regularly hang out with at school. Reminds me of you, Britton.
I had a few friends. I wasn't I wasn't the most popular kid, but you know.
I wanted to reach out and meet new folks, so I signed up for salsa dancing club that met on Friday nights.
That'll do it.
I told my grandma over the phone, and she was happy that I was putting myself out there. She asked if I was going with anybody. No, I told her. I'm just going to go by myself. Are you sure? She asked. Don't you have any roommates?
What are you doing right now?
That's her grandma's voice, man. Don't you have any roommates that want to go?
Is she possessed? Does this grandma have Pazuzu in her or something?
Maybe.
Scary as shit.
The idea of talking to my roommates terrified me. I could handle structured gatherings, but personal conversation left more room for my awkwardness to creep in. No, they're not here. I don't want you walking around campus by yourself all night. I thought my grandma was just being overprotective. Grandma, it's fine. The streets are well lit, and it's only a 10-minute walk, I said. It's perfectly safe. Well, if you're not going with anybody, call me and talk to me on the phone as you're walking back.
Is her grandma like Large Marge or something?
He drove off the Empire State Building, and then when they pulled his body out of the wreckage, it looked like this. Blah, 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 blah.
I'm smiling. I can't do it.
I agreed. That evening was incredibly fun, learning the basic steps and the dancing to upbeat Latin tunes. At around 10:30, I felt ready to head back to my dorm, so I snuck out of the building and headed towards my dorm. Although the paved path I was walking on was well lit by street lights, it seemed darker than usual. In addition, the entire campus was deserted. Normally there were quite a few kids my age wandering around, but that night there was not a soul to be seen. I dialed my grandma, and made small talk with her as I walked. I took my heels off and I carried them with my free hand. Now, the path I was walking on went past a stretch of sidewalk that was perpendicular to the one I was taking. Under one of the streetlights about 10 meters away, I noticed a lone figure standing with his back toward me. The figure, hearing me chatting on the phone, slowly turned toward me. He was tall, heavy-set, with wild red hair, and appeared to be wearing light blue pajamas.
What the fuck?
His face was obscured by a killer clown mask. The mask was stark white, with dark black eye sockets and a twisted, malicious grin. Time seemed to suddenly slow down. The clown did not move towards me. He simply just stood there, staring. I knew I had to think fast. I contemplated my options. I could A, scream like a little girl and run, B, approach him and confront him, or C, pretend he didn't scare me. The entire moment I just described couldn't have lasted more than a second, but in that moment, it felt like an eternity. "Are you here?" my grandma said.
Just send the grandma after the clown. She sounds like a badass.
Yeah, grandma scares me.
You ready to fuck up this clown?
Remember to breathe. With the phone still at my ear, I decided to go with plan C. I broke eye contact with the clown. "So anyway," I said loudly enough for the clown would hear me. "Yeah, I'm on my way," I continued. "OP, what's going on? Is everything okay?" I heard my grandma ask. Her voice suddenly filled me with anxiety. As confidently and nonchalantly as I could, I walked past the sidewalk where the clown was standing, continuing to chat. His head slowly turned as I walked past, watching me until I was out of sight. I ducked into the archway of the nearest building and tried the door, praying it was unlocked. It was. Once I was inside, I slumped against one of the concrete walls and broke down in tears. I explained to my grandma what happened. My grandma yelled for my grandpa to dial the campus police on his cell phone so that I could stay on the line with her. I got up and started pacing up and down the empty halls, checking every door and window to see if the psycho clown had followed me. Was he just a stupid kid doing this on a dare, or was he someone with more evil intentions? Some of the creepy clowns in the news had axes or baseball bats. I had no idea if mine was armed. When my grandma tried to explain to the officer on the phone what happened and that I needed help, he told my grandpa, "Your granddaughter needs to make the call herself." Apparently, the reason I had to talk to them was so that they could be sure that the call wasn't just a prank or some stupid reason like that. The point is that they wouldn't take my grandparents' word that it was in distress. I would have to hang up with my grandma and dial the campus police myself. Not knowing if I would survive the night, I told my grandma between sobs, "I love you." "I love you too."
Oh my god. I think the grandma's scarier than the clown in this story.
Yeah, really. My grandma was also crying, so she has a soul. I dialed campus police and told them who I was and what had happened. The officer on the phone sent several other officers to find me while I stayed on the phone with him and gave him a description of the clown. As I was talking, I heard the door open. I froze. Was the clown here? Did he find a way in? A tidal wave of relief washed over me as several officers came in, striding down the corridor. They walked with me back to my dorm. As soon as I was inside, I locked the door and window, and I shut the blinds. I called my grandma back to tell her I was safe. After taking a little while longer, we said goodnight. Since then, I have made a few friends at school. While I'm in a better place now, I don't go out alone after dark anymore. As for that creepy clown, let's not meet again.
Nice.
That grandma scared me.
Yeah. You really created a crazy character there with that grandma.
Yeah. She was my favorite.
Yeah, mine too. She's the grandma you don't want to mess with.
Oh, yeah.
She's the one that like stands out on the porch with a shotgun, like
800 pounds, but muscular.
Yeah. That's a lot of fucking muscle. All right. So I'm going to cover a couple urban legends and clown sightings as well before I jump into like the next big story. So in 2013, a character known as the Northampton Clown was repeatedly sighted standing silently around the English town. This clown was the work of 3 local filmmakers named Alex Powell, Elliot Simpson, and Luke Ubansky. The Northampton Clown had a very similar appearance to Pennywise the Dancing Clown from It. Some rumors surfaced about the clown having a knife, but the clown took to social media denying this was the case. In March 2014, Matteo Moroni from Perugia, Italy, who owns the YouTube channel DM Pranks, started dressing up as a killer clown to terrify unsuspecting victims, giving his videos hundreds of millions of views.
Was that like the video where he had the giant mallet and killing these fake dead bodies?
I think it was.
Hitting their faces?
I mean, today, you'd get shot.
No. In America, you would have gotten shot then.
That's true.
It was in Europe.
Also in 2014, several complaints surfaced of evil clown pranksters in France, the US, and Germany, and were possibly influenced by a fictitious character named Twisty the Clown from American Horror Story Freak Show. Did you ever watch American Horror Story?
Yeah, but I stopped after the second season.
Yeah, the Freak Show, the clown in that one was actually really cool. I liked him. The Wasco Clown also made an appearance in 2014 and gained social media attention in California. This clown also resembled Pennywise, which freaked people out. It was revealed that the postings were part of a year-long photography project conducted by the artist's wife. Menacing clowns were reported all over Bakersfield, California, some reported as having weapons. Like, it's just like these people are dressing up as clowns carrying weapons. Like, that's actually pretty freaky.
Clown with a gun.
In July 2015, a scary clown was seen around a local cemetery in Chicago that would terrorize anyone in the graveyard.
Oh, wow.
I don't feel like Chicago is a place you'd dress up as a clown. Chicago is a dangerous area.
Spooky. Yeah, no, there's a lot of gun violence in Chicago.
Yeah. In 2014, Clowns of America International responded to the depiction of Twisty the Clown and all evil clowns in the general media. I bet they don't have good things to say. President Glenn Kohlberger said, and I quote, "Hollywood makes money sensationalizing the norm. They can take any situation, no matter how good or pure, and turn it into a nightmare. We do not support in any way, shape, or form any medium that sensationalizes or adds to coulrophobia or clown fear."
God, man, people just let the clowns be scary if they want to be scary.
Seriously. Like the Clowns of America International do not like evil clowns.
Okay. Because they are really actually the evil clowns.
Yeah.
Trying to get them off their
It's
trail.
reverse psychology. They're planning some big mass clown murder thing. Holy shit.
You heard it first. Let's enter the abyss.
The abyss. We called it. Okay, so my last story here, I'm going to be covering Wrinkles the Clown.
Was he old?
Have you not heard of Wrinkles the Clown?
No, man.
No, yeah, this one's actually pretty cool.
I'm so wrinkly.
So, on November 8th, 2014, a video was uploaded to YouTube showing a young girl sleeping in her bed from what may be a security monitor.
Ruh-roh.
After a few seconds, you start to notice the drawer under her bed starting to open and a hand appears, pushing the drawer open even more. Once the drawer opens completely, a man in a clown costume slowly sits up, causing the girl to stir and slightly look around. The clown gets out of the drawer, stands over the girl menacingly, and places a stuffed animal behind her. Then walks over to the camera, and we are left with static.
That's creepy.
Have you seen that video?
No.
It's actually pretty crazy. The video is creepy, mostly from the grainy, glitchy quality of the camera and the fact that a fucking clown just crawled out from under the bed. However, this video would go on to amass over 1 million views and bring to light Wrinkles the Clown.
I'm so wrinkly.
Wrinkles had appearances in several more videos online, either frightening children at their homes or waving menacingly to motorists from a dark roadside.
How do you wave menacingly?
Like you're a clown on the side and you just slowly wave from a dark side of the road.
Okay, all right.
Right? Wrinkles' mask is pretty frightening, featuring large black eye holes and a receding white hair. He wears a red polka dot onesie with black rubber gloves and usually has a bundle of colorful balloons.
Why does he need black,
Yeah.
black gloves?
It's just crazy, man.
Rubber gloves.
Shortly after, stickers began to appear all over Florida with a picture of Wrinkles and a telephone number. As I'm sure you guessed, a lot of people began dialing this number, seeing what they would get. So, Cleet, I'm going to ask now that you get out your phone, and I want you to call this number.
What if somebody picks up? That might be weird.
Yeah. So this is actually Wrinkles' number.
All right.
So 407-734-0254. And I want you to call it and put it on speaker, and we're going to listen to see what you get.
Fuck it. We're doing it live. What if somebody picks up? It's Florida, of course. God, what if I dialed the wrong number?
You've reached Sprinkles the Clown. I'm not here to take your call. Leave me a message, I'll call you back.
Hey, Wrinkles. My name is Brad, and I'm a little crazy. Now, I'm here in my little clown suit, and I just wanted to say hello and blow up some balloons. I got a little flower I'm going to spray in the face, but you can't sue me when you find out it's fucking acid. Well, I'll talk to you another time. Please give me a little bit of a text. Salut.
Wow. I didn't expect you to actually leave a voicemail. All right.
Well, anyways,
so anyway, that was the actual number that all these stickers appeared on all over Florida. And as you guessed, a lot of people called that number. So what was the phone number for exactly, and who the hell was Wrinkles, and what did he want? So let's go ahead and jump into it. Wrinkles the Clown was created by an unidentified performance artist living in Naples, Florida, as part of some elaborate art project. Wrinkles was a homeless man who dressed up as a clown who would hire himself out to parents for a few $100s to scare their children. Wrinkles offered to come to their home in order to frighten misbehaving kids.
We talk about how this happened in Florida.
Florida, man. Children all over Florida became genuinely scared of Wrinkles, and he did in fact show up to some homes to peer into windows, scaring the bejesus out of children.
What the fuck?
Wrinkles gave a physical manifestation to the boogeyman, something the parents could actually follow through with. One story that was shared from Wrinkles tells of a mother who hired him to scare her 12-year-old son who was a troublemaker. He said, and I quote, "He was scared of clowns, and I showed up across the street from him at the bus stop, and he just started crying in front of his friends and ran home." His mother called back a few days later and said, "Thank you. Now, when he acts bad, she just asks him, 'Do you want Wrinkles to come back?'"
That's so funny.
He shared this story with some remorse, probably feeling guilty of scaring the kids so badly. I mean, how do you feel about that? Like, is that something like you think is okay?
You had me call that gentleman?
And you're contributing to this, my guy.
Dude, he's going to be calling me back all creepy like.
No, he's not.
I know that accent was fake, you son of a bitch.
He's going to be out in the window.
Were you patronizing me?
Wrinkles does get some calls, however, that go way out into left field. Wrinkles reported getting calls requesting his help with ditching a dead body or receiving explicit requests to engage in lurid behavior.
See, like, you should tell me that before I called them, because we could
Why?
have made that so much funnier. Wrinkles, I need help. I got a dead body. Dead bodies. I was at a Chuck E. Cheese and shit got weird.
Oh my God. I don't think you're around Chuck E. Cheese's anymore. He always declines, stating that he only accepts cash payments for serious requests. He said, "I've got women calling me all the time, young ones too, like weird goths with chains and stuff. I've had enough psycho women in my life already. That's why I'm divorced." Bam. Some truly dark calls started coming through to Wrinkles, however, including death threats from adults and children alike. Kids started to take back their power and would call him, stating that if he appeared at their homes, he better be ready to fight, and they would chop off his head. So he's getting like a bunch of calls now from children, like, "You better not come to my house or I'm going to cut your fucking head off."
Nice.
Like, kids are like, oh, like, this was actually a huge thing that just blew up. For several years, the identity and motives of Wrinkles, including the videos posted online, were subject to a lot of speculation. On October 4th, 2019, a documentary titled Wrinkles the Clown was released, which went into the story of the creepy clown, leaving the creators anonymous. I did watch it last year, and it's actually a really good documentary. During an interview in November 2015 with the Washington Post, Wrinkles claimed to be a 65-year-old retired and divorced veteran who chose to move to Naples, Florida from Rhode Island around 2009. He wasn't completely satisfied with being a bored retiree, so he purchased a clown mask online, made some stickers and business cards, and decided to promote his number to make a few $100 by scaring the shit out of children.
I respect that.
I can see you doing something like this.
Oh, yeah, I could do that.
Wrinkles instantly became popular in the area. Teenagers in Florida constantly posted pictures they captured of Wrinkles online and would blow up his phone number. Wrinkles himself stated he received hundreds of phone calls a day.
Uh-oh, sorry,
like
wrinkles.
a day. Well, this was back in like 2019, 2020. No, I mean, this was actually a while ago because this actually started in like 2014, as I said. In the documentary, we see the veteran depicted as Wrinkles revealed as an actor who had been hired by the real, quote-unquote, Wrinkles. The real Wrinkles is indicated to be much younger and admits that the 65-year-old man is a fictional character alter ego to explain who is under the mask. The real Wrinkles claims that he is a performance artist, with the videos and campaign being a part of a long-running and complex art project.
I like this.
Right? The real Wrinkles would go on to debunk a lot of those videos online, stating that all the children scaring videos were staged and that he never hired himself out to frighten children. The phone calls and voicemails received were in fact real and genuinely disturbed him to his core. He stated he never anticipated to go viral. He went on to say in the documentary, and I quote, the story was a lot about the internet and the way that children experience the internet. Children have these myths and help them spread. There are things on the internet that people tend to sometimes take at face value. Wrinkles the Clown, even though it's sort of a lighthearted look at one phenomenon, it portends a potentially darker future online where the truth will be a lot harder to tease out.
You know what? In some places like Florida, they don't have the societal fabric to help troubled teens overcome their problems. And when that happens, they hire Wrinkles to scare the shit out of them to go back on the straight and narrow.
God damn, that was deep.
Yeah, I know.
I like it.
That voicemail it spoke to me.
But that's my story. That's Wrinkles the Clown. So,
right.
You got a couple more?
Yeah, I'm going to try to keep a little highbrow. So with the next story, we'll go with Porta Potty Clown.
Okay.
Yeah,
There's only a few directions this can go.
imagine you're just sitting in a porta potty.
Nope.
And you just
I don't.
hear some balloon like blowing up and then some type of, balloon
The
folding.
balloon touches your butt.
And then you have a little doggy go into your stall and you're like, oh, God, no.
I don't want to imagine that at all. Sir. So.
All right.
Excuse me?
Sophomore year of college. Ah, the memories. October hits time to get my spooky on and have some fun at parties and dress up. Halloween is my favorite holiday. About a week before Halloween, one night I said, fuck it. I was bored, my Tinder date canceled due to studying for an exam. I was in a pissed off mood and I didn't really want to hang out with my friends in their dorm and get drunk.
She just found someone else to study with.
Studying in the shower wasn't me. I'll calculate you. No, I'll calculate you list. No, that's dumb. All right.
Yeah, what the fuck was that?
An attempt at humor. All right. So I decide to play a little basketball at the park no one goes to. Basketball really relaxes me, and shooting around for about an hour was going to relax me. Then I figured I'd go back to my place and play some video games.
Sounds like a real cool guy.
Yeah. I pulled to this park, and as anticipated, not a single car in sight. A trail is near me, and it leads to a mountain. That's where all the stoners probably hang, and I was thinking, lol. Great time to shoot around and relax. I'm contemplating on putting headphones in, but then I realize as night approaches, it's best I hear around me. Sunset hits, and a beautiful pink skies above, picture perfect.
Wow.
Another 15 minutes pass by, and it's dark outside. I'll be wrapping up this shoot around soon, until a loud, piercing scream I hear, probably coming from the trail, preceded with weird laughs. I'm like, okay, I'm spooked, but I don't see a damn thing, so fuck it. 10 minutes, I'm out of here.
I think he's just... this person's like writing like, fuck it, I don't care about anything.
Yeah, I like it.
You probably wrote this.
Probably. Notice a car pulls up in the parking lot, and the car proceeds to park.
1,200 clowns pile out, chasing me with rubber swords.
Is it a double rubber sword?
Haley was laughing so hard at that. It was hilarious. She's in her salon grooming. She just bust up laughing. I'm like, oh, that's great.
I go to the bathroom near the court, and I'm like, I'm going to take a piss. Get out.
I like I was just narrating. I'm just going to step in, take a quick piss, and I'm out.
I love this story.
Go take some shots of basketball, and I'm out. Fuck it. 10 minutes. I'm out.
As I'm taking a piss, I'm not lying. I hear a whisper in the bathroom stall.
Oh.
I swallow, and I'm like fucking shit. See, I had to reread that a couple times because I thought the clown was saying that. I swallow.
I swallow and I'm fucking
So the clown is not saying they swallow, just to clarify.
I mean, they might.
Could be a tweaker, a homeless person, or a troubled individual or teen. Clowns is what I think was whispered over and over.
It's like clowns. Yeah, that's not cool.
I get the fuck out and know someone damn well is near me and with me. And fucking hell, it's no one I know. Car door slams.
This is great.
And I'm like, fuck. Let me try to get my eyes on whoever just got out of that car. I creep behind a small building where the bathrooms are and peek. I gasped as was in shock. 2 clowns walking slowly to the courts, then to the trail nearby. I'm literally thinking, fuck, maybe I should just follow these 2 clowns and see where they're heading so late. I figure that probably won't be the brightest idea, and I put my backpack on and get ready to walk to the car. I'm walking to the car and hop in. Go on my phone, make a phone call, and telling my buddies I'll be online in about an hour. I notice someone just sitting on the bench near the court. I'm thinking, had to be the guy in the bathroom. I'm like, I've had enough. Drive off and get back to my place and relax.
So did he ever actually go in and play basketball?
No, he did. He shot some hoops and had to piss.
I think I missed that one. I thought he was like walking to the court. So I think I missed that whole piece because I'm thinking he's walking to the court, saw someone, got in the porta potty, pissed, and then went home.
Yeah, so to clarify, he got to the court. He went Kareem for about an hour and then took a piss.
Yeah, I'm sure that's what happened.
Yeah.
And then went home.
Yeah, you get it.
Fuck it and relax.
Yeah, fuck it. Could have been worse. If I followed those 2 clowns walking near the trail, the clown sightings were definitely creepy in 2016. Really was a weird time in my parts of the country. Hell, I was reading in other parts of the world just creepy encounters I wanted to share. Who knows, maybe these clowns will come back. Goodbye, Reddit. Anyways, so that actually wraps up. I just had a last story. I kind of forgot. I thought I had 4. But, yeah, those are creepy clown tales from the news.
Yeah. Now, if any of you have had any clown sightings or clown stories, or maybe you got Wrinkles the Clown to answer your phone calls, let us know in the comments or shoot us an email, entertheabysspod@gmail.com.
And, as always, thank you for entering the abyss.
Until next time.